Hi there. Welcome to Apple World Bunch. You know, pop them. It was a gift, and the revile cuz they were blissful about getting marked first, and they were on the Benjamin and was going. However, at that point he made him jiggy, and put him in suits, and made him cause them to compose verses for himself, and took all that distributing and assaulted them. Scene Carter is more regrettable. Oh goodness, man. He's more astute. He's patient, and he's not messy.
Okay, you all come on in the room, and we should discuss this dramatization genuine fast in light of the fact that the roads are raising an old proof to show how rapper DMX was supposedly attempting to uncover Jay Z and Diddy for purportedly taking out more youthful specialists so they could take the craftsman experts and bring in cash off them. Now there are a few meetings where DMX was attempting to spill his reality, and you all the roads are currently saying that Diddy and Jay Z purportedly unalived
DMX to safeguard themselves? Listen, you all, this show is totally insane. So we should stall on down this. Been lining up individuals he calls companions and venturing to the side while they get hit by the Gill group for quite some time. Alright, so you all ability individuals have been saying reality regarding Diddy and Diddy's real essence has been directly before us this whole time. However, we didn't see what was continuing great. It resembles the circumstances surprisingly more dreadful
than we suspected on the grounds that old recordings are currently coming up about DMX, where he attempted to uncover Diddy, yet we simply didn't give a great deal of consideration to it now. At the time, we didn't have the foggiest idea how terrible Diddy purportedly was, and assuming that there was one thing about the rap business is that you generally have individuals coming out recounting stories to attempt to ruin another person. Listen, no other industry in Hollywood has had meat like the rap
business. So when DMX expressed those things about Diddy, individuals felt that he was simply attempting to paint Diddy in a terrible light since they had their issues. However peaceful as his kept, DMX was presumably coming clean on the grounds that the things he said about Diddy are exactly the same things that he is presently getting sued for, so it seems as though X going to give it to you on the grounds that, listen, he was way before his opportunity when it came to uncovering Diddy some old film.
As of late begun making adjusts again, where DMX was discussing how Diddy treats his craftsmen. As per DMX, Diddy treats his craftsmen unreasonably. He guaranteed that Diddy constrained his craftsmen to compose his verses, which he then, at that point, made look like his own, and guaranteed that he kept in touch with them. He additionally took all their distributing ores away, and DMX asserted that Diddy SA them. Oh, well, you despite the fact that I purchased the locks PS, you realize they got marked that.
I were more secure gathering you realize po-signed them, it was a gift. And the revile cuz they blissful I getting marked first, and they were on the Benjamin and was going. However, at that point he made them jiggy, and put them in suits, and made them cause them to compose verses for himself. And took all that distributing, and presently the bits of gossip about Diddy mistreating his craftsmen are the same old thing, since he was essentially utilizing them to make himself more extravagant.
And without truly assisting them with developing as specialists. For instance, Tanya Blown, who endorsed to Awful Kid Records in 1996, and for a very long time, she in particular delivered 2 singles and no collection. Meanwhile, Diddy constrained her to compose melodies for himself and other Awful Kid craftsmen. Tanya guaranteed that Diddy kept her attached to the name with counterfeit commitments of a collection, and he even constrained her to record 50 to 60 tunes that she truly could have done without. Just to drop her as in craftsman and scrap her collection following 4 years, yet it deteriorates up on the grounds that she asserts that she had gotten so disappointed with the collection being overlooked that she attempted to end her own life. She said it was the hardest choice since that was the manner by which I had the option to give and deal with my family at the time. It was so difficult it broke me. It truly did. I went into treatment with terrible considerations and, surprisingly, endeavored to unalive myself. I was in a Dallas emergency clinic on a 72-hour watch. I had taken pills and I concluded this is all there is to it. My child was fine. He would have had individuals to deal with him. I just surrendered. However, Tanya tragically wasn't the only one, since he did more terrible to Sparkle some time ago. Did he and his then sweetheart Jennifer Lopez Joe were engaged with a shooting occurrence at a club. Diddy got a few charges connected with the episode, and he was having to deal with serious prison time, yet the penalties wonderfully got dropped and Diddy strolled free. Well, it just so happens the main explanation it got dropped was that Diddy had tossed one of his craftsmen, Sparkle, who was with him at the club at the hour of the occurrence, under the transport, and afterward made him accept all negative consequences. As per his previous protector, Diddy supposedly paid observers to affirm against Sparkle. During the preliminary, those individuals were affirming they were broke ought to puff first, saying that they What they saw against Sparkle, what they saw Sean do the day didn't actually realize those individuals existed. You comprehend what I'm talking about. Scene said it himself. You all the wild part. Pretty much this is that terrible Kid Records then. At that point. Dropped Sparkle when he was still in jail. Presently Sparkle likewise affirmed that Diddy had double-crossed him in 2020 meeting where he said Puff apologized. He was sorry to me for that when we met in Paris. Ha. He said that he might have taken care of it better. However, he was under a ton of strain from the legal counselors to toss me under the transport. Then we additionally have NBA Mace, who's been guaranteeing for a really long time that Diddy never paid him for the work that he did while he was that terrible kid. Currently recall how DMX said that. Did he constrained his rappers to compose his RS? And afterward, he made the bars look like his own. Well, Mace has consistently guaranteed that he composed the majority of Diddy's raps during the time that he was that terrible kid, yet Diddy never gave him credit or installment. No, Diddy then and again asserted that Mace didn't get a lot of cash flow while he was that awful kid, which is somewhat difficult to honestly thinking about that Mace had an aggregate of 5 platinum singles, 5 hot rap melodies, #1 singles, and 6 Board Hot 100 top 10 singles in only 2 years. However, not just that, Diddy likewise ridiculed Mace for turning into a minister in the wake of leaving terrible kid, calling him a phony minister who was attempting to mislead individuals. You realize I did 1 collection with Mama, 1 collection. How much cash do you think I owe this person? 1 collection. And afterward, he turned into a phony minister and proceeded to con individuals. So it seems as though DMX had no cap by any means toward the end yet. That is not all he said, on the grounds that he likewise guaranteed that Diddy purportedly are phrased his craftsmen. At the time, individuals took this to allude to the way that Diddy was ripping off his craftsmen and leaving them severed while he made huge number of them. However, understanding what we know now about Mr. Diddy and the charges that have been made against him in the recent weeks, fans are presently saying that DMX actually intended what he said in a real sense. Furthermore, not metaphorically, in addition to DMX had an individual history with Diddy, so he purportedly knew firsthand what Diddy was truly similar to. DMXX needed to be endorsed to terrible Kid Records. However, Diddy wasn't feeling him since he felt that DMX's voice was excessively harsh, and he wasn't attractive yet. The second he heard that Passing Jam was intrigued in marking DMX, he abruptly got frantic to sign him. As per reports, it was only after Death Jewel laid their proposal on the table to sign X that Diddy chose to reclaim his underlying choice. He resembled I'll bind your pockets, I'll twofold what they gave you in Triumph. Your pockets. Fortunately for DMX, he didn't take Diddy up on his proposition, and he marked a passing jam rather than an effective vocation until Diddy's BFF Jay Z turned into the leader of Day Jam, and he attempted to bring TMX down. Now, before we get into DMX and Jay Z, might we, at any point, if it's not too much trouble, discuss why he didn't take the succulent arrangement that Diddy offered him? Yes, this occurred before he had some awareness of how Diddy ripped off his craftsmen. So, for what reason did he turn Diddy down after he asked Diddy to sign him to terrible kid? Well, the roads are saying that at some point between DMX requesting to be doled out to awful kid and Diddy offering him a job, DMX figured out that Diddy had purportedly been unaliving his specialists, particularly those that were fruitful. There has been a paranoid idea for years that Diddy was the cerebrum behind Biggie Smalls' passing, since he needed to possess Big Deal's index. Even Chick Nid has discussed how bizarre it is that Diddy has been benefiting so greatly from Big Deal's demise. The roads are saying that if Diddy can't get sufficiently close to a craftsman expert when they're alive, he purportedly univies them so he gets all the cash for himself, which is additional obscure, and supposedly to this end, DMX decided to stay away from Diddy since he would have rather not become involved with that wreck. Keeping in mind that he had a few effective years at Def Jam, things changed when Jay Z became president, since Jay purportedly felt envious and compromised by DMX, and he needed to bring DMX down a peg. As per DMX, Jay Z was fixated on remaining at the top consistently, and he never maintained that anybody should be as large as he seemed to be. DMX even uncovered in an old meeting that Jay Z purposely played with his 6 collections since he felt compromised by DMX. You realize I go to do the 6th collection, and you know, no doubt, definitely better believe it. You know, when he previously landed the position, he hit me with the call like you're K9M. Simply running the structure like, yo, you great completion. The collection, shoot the video going, what happened? Go get away. And you realize we don't have the foggiest idea what you mean. You don't have any idea. How would you stand by listening to an entire collection pick a solitary shoot at video then? At that point, don't realize. Okay, I see what's great about you attempting to dispose of the opposition. Because at first you resigned, you realize, then get me off. The mark. And now you're back rapping again. DMX guaranteed that the explanation Jay Z was screwing with his collection was on the grounds that Jay Z needed to get back in the saddle to rap subsequent to declaring his retirement in 2003 anyway. He later adjusted his perspective and chose to continue making more music. However, the timing matched with the arrival of DMX's sixth collection, and Jay Z supposedly attempted to tank the undertaking for it.